6:21 in the AM, and I am here in my warehouse. I made a sale of a book lot, and I want to share it with you. In this early morning, I snuck out of the house. Everyone is still asleep. My wife is sick. She's usually up. We're usually up, walking the dog and whatnot. But anyway, I am going to make this relatively quick video. This is essentially a book lot that I got last year. It was a big 22 box book pickup. And the person, so this was from a former police officer, so it's not a surprise that they had a lot of books related to law enforcement, fiction and nonfiction. These are all vintage paperbacks, that are based around actual police officers, the real centurions. We got The Laughing Policeman. You're starting to see a pattern here. City Police. Decker. There's even sticks of dynamite on that one. Kill Squad. Dead wrong. Chief. Badge 373. So some of these titles are interesting. Joseph Wambach, The Black Marble, and some of them have some cool covers, some cool artwork. The New Centurions. Whoops. Police Woman. This was actually from a former police woman, and she was I think she was actually the first female police officer in the city where she was a police officer here in Southern California. So she made history with that back in the 70s. Law and Order. Chiodo, Undercover Cop. LA Secret Police, Inside the LAPD Elite Spy Network. This is, I guess, a nonfiction. Vendetta. A gripping story of a cop who avenges his wife's death. His Way. So lots of cop stuff. Fatal Command. The Blue Knight. The First Directive. So when you see large amounts of books that are the same genre, The Delta Star, Foster and Laurie. Oh, look at this one. Killer at Large. That's a cool cover. The Law Unto Themselves. Okay. Close Pursuit. So there's 23 of them. When you see books that have the same, not just the same genre, but that really, like these are vintage paperbacks, number one. So that's great. By and large, some of them, like this one, these have ISBNs, and like this one has an ISBN and a barcode, but most of them do not. But most of them are technically vintage, like from the 80s. I think they're 80s. I don't know if there's any 70s. There might be some 70s in there, but vintage overall. So when you see books that have vintage paperbacks, police, law enforcement, cop, fiction. There was that one nonfiction, but most of them are fiction. Apparently this was a major CBS TV motion picture. Never heard of that one. I think this one also has a barcode. So when you see that, though, you definitely know that you can make a lot and probably sell it. So 23, that's a good amount. Now, but this is the thing. I got this last year. I think I did this pickup in September of last year. So it took about, October, November, December. Yeah, about 5 months to sell. But it sold for $39.79 plus shipping. So I'm completely happy with a $40 sale. Yeah, I'm happy with it. And it's not, even though it's 23 books, they're smaller, so they don't take up that much space. I had it stored in that box up there. I've combed through all of my book lots, and I've really culled it down to the ones that make sense for me. I got rid of some stuff that just didn't make sense anymore. It had been sitting for too long, that kind of thing. So you got to go back through your lots, especially the ones that take up more space, which is going to be predominantly paper or book lots, and then DVDs, and then CDs. I've really cut down a lot of the CD lots that I have. I got rid of some and sold off a lot of them. I don't have very many right now. So I've gotten better about that. So number one, I mean, if it's going to take 5 months, I'm going to want to sell it for over $30 is what I always say. For a lot, even more is better because it takes up more space, but $40 is nice. So now if you saw all of these books at a thrift store, for 50 cents each, would it be worth buying them? I would say no. You end up spending 23 books. You'd end up spending about $12. That's not worth it to me to sell it for $40. But if you get them in a big donation or a big pickup or a huge bulk buy, and they end up being pennies for these, then it's worth it. If you can get these kind of books for a quarter, maybe it's worth it as well. So it just depends on what your buy cost is. But if you can, that's the thing. That's why I recommend getting into or letting people know that you sell books. You're always looking for books. Pass out cards. Tell people word of mouth. Go on social media, all that kind of stuff. Nextdoor, Facebook, and just let people know, because a lot of people, either people are looking to get rid of their own personal stuff, or they're, for a variety of reasons, right? They just want to downsize, they're moving, they don't want it anymore, or someone, which is in this case, someone has passed away and the next generation doesn't want, they didn't want their books. And there was so much good stuff in there. I've already sold a lot, many of the books that I got from those 22 boxes. And so this is just one of the last few that's left. And that happens, right? I mean, people, a grandparent, a parent passes away, and the kids or grandkids don't want their stuff, and which includes books. So there's just every single day there are people looking to get rid of books and media. I mean, not even talking about all the other stuff that people are looking to get rid of that, if you're into, you can sell. But in terms strictly of books and media, there's always, it seems like there's always books, there's always some records, especially the older generation from, this is like from the 40s, right? They're going to have books that they bought in the 70s, 80s, maybe even 60s into the 90s, and they're more than likely going to have some records. They might have some CDs. They might have VHS tapes. They might even have some cassette tapes. That also is common. So now I'm going to box these up. I have this kind of not large, but sort of big-ish box for what I sold, but yet I fit all of them. Whoops, let's see. I fit all of them on the same level there, so I don't have to stack any on top of any of the others. It fits really snug. Haha, now we're getting somewhere. So what I did is I put some packing paper in here and in here just to fill the empty spaces, because what you don't want to do is have things moving around inside of boxes when you ship them. That's a bad thing. Especially, it's less of a bad thing with books, but you just shouldn't do it at all. But it's especially bad with CDs and DVDs, because things can move around and break. So also, because the box is too big, I'm going to resize it. So what I've done here is I've scored, as in S-C-O-R-E-D, you score, S-C-O-R-E, all the way around here. I just do it with a box cutter. And all you do is you just stick it in there and make a line going across without connecting the scores or the holes you're making. Go all the way around doing that. See, I've done it all the way around, if you can see. And then you cut the corners like I've done here. And I have one more to cut. So you just go from where the line is that you scored. It's hard to do it with one hand. Let's see if I can do it. And then you just go, hold on. Then you just go up, cut it up, which is much easier with two hands, of course. Yeah, let's go down. Whee. This is absurd. Okay, so now that it's scored, what you do is you just fold over the flaps. So you fold it over. Oops. Fold it over. Now, those fit nicely, but this one I bet fold it over and it's too long. So you can just fold this part over, which I'm not going to do. Then you could fold this and do it like that, but instead I'm gonna cut this out here. So now I cut off those extra flaps. I can fold it over, and it's a nicely tailored to the size of the contents. That's it. I always do that when there's, because that's the thing. You do that when there's too much space. I'm not going to put in all this bubble wrap for all that empty space. That's a waste of air bubbles. What are those called? Air pillows, whatever. They're not air bubbles, air pillows, or this shipping packing paper. And by the way, so just score it. That's how simple it is, and then it's ready to go. And make sure that you take off, which is what I already did, take off the previous shipping label, any other stickers on here, so you can put your shipping label on top. And also, I get all my shipping material for free, excluding the individual padded mailers that I get from eBay. Aside from those, I don't pay for boxes or dunnage, as it's called, packing paper. I go to what's called a recycling dumpster. There's lots of them around, and you find a couple good ones that are always, people are always putting stuff out, and you can have a steady supply of that type of stuff. All right, guys, thanks for watching this early video, at least for me, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.